If you peel ginger with a spoon, you need to get off Instagram. Hi, I'm Phil.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
Welcome to Pretty Good Cooking.
Pretty good.
Tonight on the show, we're gonna make beef and broccoli, which I still don't believe we haven't done before, but cursory search of the record says we haven't. Beef and broccoli is a stir fry of beef and broccoli for your health. All right, so we're gonna get this show on the road. It's gonna start with rice. And today we're eating peasant rice, which is the broken rice. We used this in kanji, a recent kanji episode. Click here. I'm gonna make 2 cups of rice today because John and Kevin and Arthur are all growing boys. To the rice we will add 4 cups of water. All right, we're gonna pop that on the stove. All right, let's proceed. So the rice is on and the pain is gone. We gotta chop our broccoli, we gotta chop our beef, and we gotta make the sauce. Now, the recipe, which John selected, said this is the best sauce ever. And we're gonna put that to the test.
I didn't read the recipe.
One of my favorite things, you didn't read the recipe. Incredible. So, Kevin wants to chop things. He was born for this. I will also contribute to the cause and I'll get working on the sauce. Now I got some garlics here. The recipe said to grate the garlic. I don't do that. I don't do that at all. That's for I think grated garlic is for people in a different socioeconomic class than me, to be honest. As for me in my house, we just chop the garlic. Like normal people. I'm also going to use a little bit more garlic. My garlic.
I'm chopping broccoli. This is 2-ish pounds, somewhere between 1 and 2 pounds. And I'm trying to chop it kind of long. That's not working out too well.
He's chopping it long, just like them summer days. I also need some ginger. How much ginger do I need? 1 teaspoon. Freshly grated. Yeah, we're not grating it. We're not even gonna peel it. 1 teaspoon of ginger is definitely not this amount. But as for me, in my house, we like things that taste good. I'm gonna add more. Yeah, that's definitely a teaspoon. It's not a teaspoon. We need hot water. 1/2 cup of hot water. We use the hot water because we're gonna dissolve brown sugar in it. We need 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Okay, let's splash that sugar water on there. To that, we need about 6 tablespoons of soy sauce. It says low sodium soy sauce, which is what I have on hand. But I'm gonna mix it up with a depth of flavor by using 1/2 low sodium soy sauce and 1/2 Tamari, which is what it said you could substitute for. So why not both? Porque no los dos. We need sesame oil, 2 tablespoons of sesame oil. I have the Quirky. And we need 1.5 tablespoons of cornstarch. I love working with cornstarch. So again, we'll eyeball that as 1.5. And this we will mix together with a small whisk. Why not? And that is, according to this blog, the best sauce ever. In this recipe, I will be using probably vegetable oil. And I say probably because I get these things and I refill it with a big thing. It could be canola oil, it could be vegetable oil, but who can say? And we'll get that heated up. I'm just using a very large nonstick skillet in hopes that I can do a little bit of stir frying in there, but who's to say whether it'll work or not? Only time will tell. But based on the amount of broccoli, I think it'll be fine. And if I have to do a couple batches, no problem. We'll let that heat up for a second, and I'll start cooking the broccoli.
That's what you're doing, Kevin.
I'm slicing beef. Flank steak. 1-point-something pounds.
Well, I guess somebody didn't individually dry the florets after chopping these.
Oops, my bad.
Which is totally unnecessary. So if you throw things that are a little bit wet in a hot pan, there might be some sparks, which is what happened to me. So we're cooking the broccoli. It's the first cook. And the idea, the loose idea at least, is that the broccoli will take a little bit longer than anything else to cook. So if you start it with a sauteing of the broccoli, you can return it to the pan later for the final cook. So what we're doing right now, it's almost like we're charring some of the broccoli with the stir fry or the saute, whatever you want to call it. And that will imbue these vegetables with some nice flavor. I just instinctually want to add a little bit of salt to the broccoli for seasoning, but also to draw some moisture out. And I don't remember where I read this, I want to add just a tiny bit of sugar, a super tiny amount. And I think that I read this recently, that just a tiny bit of sugar is imperceptible in the final flavor of broccoli, but it can help some of the flavors come out in a nice way. So I'm going to work on this for a few minutes, just moving it around in the pan. The pan is very full, but it's fine. All right, I'm loving the char. Look at the beautiful broccoli char that we're getting. Looks fantastic. So I'm gonna briefly steam this. And I don't have a lid that covers this pan, so I'm just shoving a lid in there. But we're gonna let that steam very briefly. It's a delicate balance because we are gonna reheat the broccoli, but I don't want like fully raw broccoli either. I might let this go another 30 seconds to a minute, and then we'll pull it out of there and we'll start cooking our beef. Kevin, what are you doing?
I'm grinding white pepper onto the beef.
I'm adding some kosher salt with seasoning. Season our beef. I think our broccoli has a good amount of steam. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's gonna be good. So there's still gonna be a bite to this broccoli, but it's gonna have some tenderness, which is what we want. So I got my auxiliary bowl. Here's my auxiliary bowl. And into the bowl it will go. And there it is. All right, we're gonna add some more oil to the pan. We're gonna absolutely blast the heat as high as we can go, which is not how you're supposed to use nonstick pans, for the record. And we got our fine seasoned beef. Now the boys smelled the 5-spice powder and said no. No 5-spice today. And I respect them. I respect their decision. So we seasoned with freshly ground white pepper and unfreshly ground kosher salt. So as soon as this heats up, we're gonna add some beef, which I will do my best to work into a layer. And maybe we'll do 2 batches of beef that we'll throw in with the broccoli. If you don't actually overcrowd the pan, which I'm always tempted to do, you will have a better browning, which will taste better. With beef cooked in this way, it's in a layer. You don't want to mess with it too much so that you can get optimal browning. So we'll just leave that alone and let it go. Let's see if we have any good browning. No, that's okay. We'll get there. And for anybody who's like looking at this and being like, well, you get better browning in a different pan, I know, but I don't have a pan that's this big that could accommodate that much food. We'll be back soon. Basically, I'm just gonna lightly cook this, hope to get some type of browning. I probably won't get as much browning on the other side, and then we'll pull it out and we'll finish the recipe. And then we'll do another batch of beef. I'm kind of thinking I'm just gonna dump everything in this waiting bowl over here. All right, if we cook this beef any more than what it is, it'll be very tough. So I'm gonna go ahead and dump it out in with my broccoli, get my pan heated back up, and do the second batch. We'll be back when the beef is done and the pan is gone. All right, it's sauce time. So here's our sauce, which is gonna go in that hot pan, and be careful. Apparently there's nothing to be careful about. We're just gonna cook that for a couple minutes till it thickens. The thickness that we're going for is approximately similar to your mother, and this will also cook the garlic and the ginger a little bit. My rice is looking nice. It's definitely done. I turned the heat off quite some time ago, but we're gonna take the lid off. Here's our nice peasant rice. Almost instantaneously, look at the thickness of this sauce. That's super thick, super fast. So what that tells me is it doesn't really need to cook that long at all, and we can go ahead and return the rest of our contents into the pan. Now I am working with a slotted spoon, but the idea is just to get the sauce on everything. It's fine. And that's it. That's beef and broccoli, which somehow we've never made before. I don't believe it. We will finish the garnish. We'll finish with the garnish, which will be sesame seeds. Doesn't that look legit? And we'll serve it up. Serve it up. So I'll go ahead and plate one, probably for myself. You could also garnish this with green onions. I think that'd be pretty good, but also not that necessary. And that's it. Let's see if this is the best sauce. We didn't follow any of the instructions, so there's that. It's good. It's really good. Would I call that the best sauce ever? I don't think so, but it's a solid beef and broccoli. Very happy with it. The beef is tender, the sauce is savory, the rice is yummy. What more could you want?
That's really good. Very good.
And that's how you do it. If you like what we're doing, great. The show is done for the night. See you next time on PGC. We're gonna eat this. Broccoli is good for you, okay?